Minglawa, this is the weekly highlight news of Radio NUG. I'm James. Here are the news highlight for this week. The National Unity Government convenes an emergency meeting following the earthquake to activate the Emergency Management Coordination Committee's processes. The acting president of the National Unity Government, His Excellency Duala Shila, gave a speech at the one-year anniversary of the Spring Sportive Lottery establishment. The Union Minister for the Ministry of Defense of the National Unity Government, UNIMO, instructs to maximize assistance to communities affected by the earthquake and other interesting news. These are the weekly news details. The National Unity Government convened an emergency meeting immediately following the earthquake on 28th of March to activate the processes of the Emergency Management Coordination Committee and the relevant ministries from the tax departments with the necessary actions. On the same day, Myanmar's permanent representative to the UN, Ambassador Ujo Moton, PL for assistance in a letter to the UN Secretary General and shared the National Unity Government's emergency announcement to relevant officials and United Nations observers. The acting president of the National Unity Government, His Excellency Duala Shila, made a speech at the one-year anniversary of the establishment of the Spring Sportive Lottery on 21st of March, acknowledged both the strengths and weaknesses of the revolutionary forces. Addressing public criticism, he affirmed that the National Unity Government values and will consider all suggestions. He also urged unity and reminded everyone of the sacrifice made by the revolutionaries. He emphasized that he and the Union Prime Minister are working together to overcome challenges and advance the revolution, while the cabinet is preparing to re-establish governance within the country. Following the recent earthquake, the Union Minister for the Ministry of Defense of the National Unity Government, UNIMO, instructed to the People's Defense Force (PDF) PAAPA to collaborate with local revolutionary organizations and maximize assistance to earthquake-affected communities. The Union Minister also emphasized the importance of timely and accurate situation reporting. At the same time, the National Unity Government and UG released photos documenting relief rescue efforts conducted in Sakai region on 29 of March, involving NUG members, PDF, and the public. Within hours of the earthquake, the NUG convened emergency meetings with the Ministry of Defense, directly relevant PDFs and public rescue organizations, and the Department of Home Affairs and Immigration, instructing public rescue organizations and personnel to expedite relief operations. The chairwoman of the International Relations Committee of CRPH, Domya Diaton, attended the discussion on women's participation in democracy and constitution building in Myanmar, organized by International IDEA at the United Nations headquarters in New York on 19 of March, during the 69th session of the UN Commission on the Status of Women, CSW69. At the discussion, she highlighted the involvement of the Myanmar women and girls, including female parliamentarians, in peace building, constitution building, education, health, assistance to displaced people, and broader international awareness efforts both before and during the current revolution. The committee representing Pyongyang CRPH is raising awareness of the Myanmar crisis, including the junta's terrorist activities, the urgencies of the humanitarian aid for displaced people, and the need to support the Myanmar people's pathway of the Federal Democratic Union. International IDEA, an international partner organization, has signed a memorandum of understanding with the CRPH and is collaborating to build an inclusive federal democracy in Myanmar by supporting the constitution's making process and strengthening democratic institutions. The chairman of the Labour Affairs Committee of the committee representing CRPH, U Okame, met with labor assistance groups and charitable organizations in Thailand to collaborate on resolving issues faced by Myanmar workers on 26 of March. During the meeting, the chairman of the Labour Affairs Committee outlined the committee's activities, the advocacy efforts by the Myanmar migrant workers during the debate on the Thai National Assembly and recent ILO initiatives for Myanmar workers. Attendees discussed the challenges Myanmar workers face, including legal compliance and rights violations, offer suggestions, and emphasized the need to address the situation in Thailand. Then, the chairman of the Labor Affairs Committee responded to questions, affirmed continual cooperation in addressing these difficulties and pledged to present the situation to relevant officials. Despite military airstrikes targeting schools and civilian areas in KNU-controlled Duplaya district, the Kenyan Education and Culture Department (KECD) successfully conducted the Kodule government exam in Winnery Township on 14th of March with the help of the local leaders and teachers. The annual Kodule government exam, admired by the KECD, the students in grades 6, 9, and 12 award certificates yearly. The military junta's ongoing airstrikes, drone attacks, and artillery sharing of the civilian areas in KNU-controlled areas have resulted in casualties, including students, teachers, and children. These are the weekly highlight news of Radio and YouTube. We will present more interesting local news to you. Thanks for joining our news.